Good morning, or guten Morgen if you're joining us from the chat, where everybody is apparently speaking German. I made one comment in German, and now apparently I now speak German. We will talk about that in a little bit. But if you are joining us live, let us know where you are joining from, and we'll see if this button works today. Oh, that didn't work at all. Let's see what we can do about that. I, again, am messing with everything, and my whole studio is in a giant disaster state right now. So we are going to just quickly fix this. Oops, that's not the right one. Flying key, that's what I wanted. All right, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining. And yeah, going to be a bit of an adventure today, again, as usual, because things are all torn apart here in this room. You can see my background still missing the big white shelf. We'll talk about that in a minute too. And I am, of course, here to answer questions from people in the chat. We'll see how that goes. I've got some stuff on my list that I want to talk about as well. So I do see that we do have a lot of people from Germany in the chat, and ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch, aber nicht so gut. Es war sehr lange seit ich letzte in Deutschland war. I do miss it. I would like to go back to Germany at some point for an extended period of time and not just the 2 or 3 days I've been doing here and there. So, okay. With that, what have we got here? We got a good crowd in the chat. Someone from Argentina, thanks. My family's actually from Argentina. Not really from Germany. I just happened to spend 2 months in Germany in high school, which was a long time ago. So, but that's really where I felt like I could actually form full sentences, despite having had German lessons in growing up. So, yeah. Okay. Well, that's great German for 2 months. Yeah, I have gone back several times, just not for any real amount of time. Let's get rid of the map. Thank you all for joining. And let's see, is this the right button? Yeah, all my macros are messed up again. Now you're hearing double. Okay, so I do want to mention that, let's get rid of the music too. There we go. I do want to mention that I actually am testing out a new microphone again today. This one is now, let me make sure I'm actually on. Hello, hello. Yeah, so I just switched over to this microphone, and this microphone is this new wireless microphone, lav mic from Lensgo. They sent it over to me to check it out, so I figured I would test it out on this stream. And, oh, too loud? I can crank it down. I forgot to do I'm probably compensating for the other microphone. Let's try, oh. Too hot. Okay, there we go. What are we doing? We are gonna do, let's just get rid of all the effects. Okay, no, oh, that's really hot. Why is it so hot? I don't see any adjustments on the mic, so I'm just gonna turn the gain down on the ATEM. That should be, let's try 6. That should be a little better. Okay, so I'm going right, oh, it's still pretty hot. 12, how's this? That looks better to me. I'm not listening to it, I'm just looking at the levels. This microphone is going, the receiver is attached directly into the ATEM Mini on microphone 1. So it's feeding right into there. And let me just double check that this sounds a little better. Yep, okay. And I'll leave this on for a while and we'll see how it goes. I am gonna probably switch over to my other microphone when I move to the other table again, because I am, of course, streaming to myself with the streaming bridge again. And, oh yeah, what is my ATEM set on? Microline. It is set to microphone, which I believe is correct for this. I believe it does microphone levels out. So let's see what we've got going on in the chat, and with any luck, I will have a macro again, because I think I set that one up ahead of time. Bring the chat back. Cool. New microphone is currently suboptimal, needs some work. I think, yeah, I haven't done any EQ, and this is now flat, no processing on this. I normally do a little bit of processing with the compressor, so, but this is just straight out of the microphone. Roger, okay, yes, this is a good one. So the problem with the Chromecast is that it will only ever output HDCP. I feel like I need to do a video about this because it is confusing, but a lot of devices will negotiate. So like an Apple TV or even a laptop will ask the receiving end, do you support HDCP? And if it says no, then it will not encrypt the signal. And that means that it'll just send a regular signal and everything works great. If the other end says it does support HDCP, it will encrypt the signal and send an encrypted signal using HDCP. Most of the time this works fine, because most things are made to work that way, right? Like your TV supports HDCP, so it's fine. The ATEM does not support HDCP, so if you plug in your laptop to the ATEM, everything works. That's great. The Chromecast, however, does not do the negotiation. So the problem with the Chromecast is that it just always outputs HDCP, no matter what, even if it's plugged into a device that does not support HDCP. And I don't know why they do that, because there's a lot of uses of a Chromecast that are not playing videos from YouTube or whatever you're playing videos from. So you have to get around that. And the only way around that is to remove the HDCP from the signal, which is not really something that a company can sell. That's not something that you're going to be able to get the HDMI certification for in order to sell a product that does that. So you have to look for devices. Usually it's an HDMI splitter, which will remove the HDCP. And they can't market it like that because they would not be able to, they would get shut down really quick. So that's the trick, is you have to find one that does that without them telling you that it does that. And the one that I have been using, which I used in my multi-view video a couple months ago, actually now a long time ago, I think it was like February or something, that one was working, did work, and then they updated the listing to say it supports HDCP, which means it does not do what you want it to do. So I was looking for a new one, and I did find one, and I'm looking for the link now. It is, I found one on, nope, that's not the one. I found one on the Banggood website, and I linked to it in, I didn't make a link for it. I don't have my link for it. Okay. It might be in this description. I may have done that already. I put a lot of links in these descriptions, so hopefully it might be in there already. Let me double check. It is. Okay. It is in the video description, HDMI splitter for Chromecast. So scroll down and it's like the 5th link in the video description. That one I have, and it is working. I think it's actually the one plugged in right now. So hopefully that one works for a while. Go grab as many of those as you need, because they are not guaranteed to stick around for very long. So that was a fun little video. Hey, that was a video. I can just edit that, just cut that up and post that. Okay, what else? Pat says, I've heard rumors you can grab a still from the live video on the ATEM Mini. Am I making this up? You are not making it up. However, it's not necessarily where you would expect to find it. So what I can do is show you my computer screen. Can I bring myself back using this? I can. And what you do is you go to the Media tab down here, and then there's a button, but the chat's covering it up. There's a button in the Media tab called Capture Still. Oh, I just realized you can't see my mouse because there's a bug on Mac where if I'm mirroring to 2 displays, the cursor only appears on one of them, which is just amazing. So look at the bottom, where it says Capture Still. If you press that, it will grab a frame from the program, and now it's recorded there. And now I can just drag that into the media player if I wanted to. but I don't actually want to do that. So that's how it works. And it is, yeah, it does work. Good question. And I just noticed that my light turned yellow. Thank you very much. Question, is there a way to stream to both the streaming bridge and the internet via the Ethernet port? If so, can you do a video showing how? Unfortunately, there is not. Unfortunately, there is not. It is just going to stream to one destination. So that's the limit of the ATEM Mini Pro. And the solution would have been to use like Restream to stream to that, where it can then stream to more than one place, except that the streaming bridge does not accept input from anything except an ATEM Mini. So you could use my Raspberry Pi trick to emulate a streaming bridge and then go from Restream to YouTube and to the Raspberry Pi. That would work. So not a great solution, but it would work. And thank you for the super chat. And mic sounds good. The room needs a little more sound treatment. I know, I'm still working on it. I am getting so close to being done with this studio build, and proper sound treatment is going to be on that list. I need to figure out a way to do it that matches the design of like that angle in the back. I need something besides just the rectangles. I need some sort of angled thing. So, all right. Speaking of studio, let me give you a quick tour of, let me switch over to the other desk, because there's some stuff over here that I want to share. So I think if I do, is that mic on? Okay, I have to fiddle with the audio over there. Can you still hear me? Yes. All right. So over here, oh, my headphones are now, am I like way louder? I think I'm way louder over here. Hold on. The problem is that, yeah, so that is, let me just go change my, oh, that's cranked up to plus 10. Okay. I don't know how that happened. The gain on the input from this was like set to plus 10. I don't know why. So anyway, what I've got over here is a bit of a mess. I decided to paint my, so if you've been following, I've got this, let me get rid of these pieces. I've got this rack. And I decided to paint all my gear white. So far I've done the rack itself. That was black. It also was 2 units taller, and I chopped it off. And I also painted my dual monitor Blackmagic. You can see it's the Blackmagic gray on the back. So I painted that white on the front as well, because it turns out it was very simple. It was just one piece of metal on the top that came off, and that was it. So that was nice. Nice and easy. Then I was like, well, the next one is going to be the Hyperdeck. So should I do that? And the answer is yes. I have now completely disassembled my Hyperdeck, including disassembling the front piece so that I could paint the very front of it white. And this I painted this on Friday, so it is dry now, and I am ready to put it all back. I also painted these little blanks white, so now it's going to look really good when it's all put back together. And I might just go ahead and do that right now, because it's all right here, and all the little screws are right here. So I am pretty excited. The rack looks like a face from a Star Wars soldier. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, on this desk, I'm on a totally different microphone. It's my Samson C02 up there, and that's because you're looking at me through the streaming bridge now. This desk is streaming to that desk. Curtis says I look pretty excited. I am very excited about this. Yeah, this was a fun little project. And oh, and I even painted a little knob. Let me just switch to my overhead camera. This is the plate. This is the little knob. And it's going to be totally different beast when I get this back together. Oh, there's a piece in there that I need to put back in, the little thing with the lights on it. I don't know which way that goes. The thing that lets the LEDs show through. So that, oh, that's backwards. That goes in there, and then, is this gonna work? It was really interesting taking this apart because these little SD card slots are like little daughter boards that clamp into the main one, but they're kind of loose, and then they actually get held in place by this faceplate. And then the faceplate kind of snaps in. Where is it? Where's the snap? There's those two snaps. Gotta get everything lined up. And yes, this was very risky, and no, I do not recommend doing this at home. Hopefully this thing still works when I get it all back together. There we go. And now they're stiff. And then this goes back on. Ha ha ha, look at that. Look at that. And then I put it back onto this, where I need to also get this little ribbon thing perfectly lined up somehow. Perfectly lined up. And watch as I break my Hyperdeck on air. This is gonna go great. Okay, this is really hard. How do people do this for a living? I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, I think that's in there. I don't really remember how deep it was supposed to sit. So, do I trust that that's in there or not? It's very hard to tell if it's set, if it's actually connected or not. We're gonna go with yes. And I snap the two daughter boards in, and I did not paint the top because it doesn't really matter because you can't see it. And oh yeah, this is also the custom fan that I installed so that it's quiet. All right. Is this going to work? That is the question. Is it going to turn on again? And is the faceplate going to turn on? There. Okay, it fits. Quick. Get all the little screws while I have it here. I'll get back to the chat, I promise. I'm not totally ignoring you. I just wanted to get this done, and I was very excited about doing it, so I figured why not do it live? What could possibly go wrong? Maybe I should do just a couple screws and then test it to save time in case something went wrong. Okay. You know, it would have been smart to bring my chat over here onto this table. Sorry. What do we have? When it's all the way in most ribbons, there is a little bounce when you push too far. Okay. I'm just gonna cross my fingers. We're gonna plug this in and see if the screen lights up. Okay, back over here where I have power. Trooper deck. The buttons are still black. I know. I didn't want to paint the buttons because they're rubber. Also, they're like part of the actual circuit board. Trooper deck. If that ribbon works, I'll be amazed. Thanks for the confidence. We'll see. Yeah, I definitely invalidated my warranty on air. It's okay. I bought this years ago. It's probably not even under warranty still. Plug it in. Hopefully don't electrocute myself. It is powering up. The buttons light up. Look, it's on. It totally worked. Okay, that's awesome. I'm happy. I'll take it. Whew. Whew. Okay. Thank you for joining the stream. By the way, I absolutely loved your albino ATEM. I am taking a slightly different approach to the ATEM. I don't trust myself to disassemble the ATEM as far as it needs to go to get the faceplate off, because it's like, I saw how many layers that were there. And that is, yeah, I don't trust myself to do that. So instead, what I'm doing, Randy, I will get to your super chat question in a second. Instead, what I'm doing is making little cutouts for the ATEM. So I did this. I measured all the buttons, created a little vector file, and then ran it through my little cutter machine. And now I can make these in any color out of any material. So this is just like cardstock. And let me grab my, well, here, we'll just go back over to here. And if we take a look at my ATEM down here, I can just set it on top. Now, this is obviously just paper, so it's like not sticking down, but I can do this with vinyl now. So the idea will be to do this with, with a vinyl sticker so that it actually sticks. And then I can also put like graphics on it. So like, I did another one just to kind of see what it would look like. I did another one with my channel art, and now I get like a branded one. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let me know what you think, because that was fun. It is a what was it? Not a Cricut, the other one, Silhouette cutter. And it's just got a little blade, and it just does little vector cuts. So that was fun. I'm gonna do that in vinyl, and I can also print on the vinyl first and do like, I'm actually honestly on the fence about white for this one, because I feel like the buttons need to stand out from this, and so the black background makes the buttons stand out. So I might try one with my gray wall and maybe like that coral color kind of at an angle, and see what that looks like so that the buttons stand out better still. I could sell ATEM Mini skins to the sideline. Totally. I don't know. Oh, the other convenient thing about this is they happen to fit in a letter-sized envelope. They fit perfectly. So I can actually just ship them in regular mail. I don't even need to like pack them. Gray would be good. I don't really care about the text. I don't need to know that like the first set of 4 is mic 1, because like I know that that's mic 1. I know that's mic 2. And the buttons are all labeled themselves, so like the on-off. I don't really care about the labels printed on the ATEM. I do need to distinguish between the ATEM Mini Pro and the ISO, because the buttons are the same on those two. Where did I get the template from? I made it. I made it yesterday. I just took a ruler and measured all the buttons. So, was it worth the shot to do it? And are you going to do the Television Studio HD? I do think it's worth it. This is now very pretty. and still functional, which is good. And I am going to, I don't think I'm gonna do the Television Studio HD because I'm not planning on putting that on this rack. This is gonna go on this desk here, and that's why I've got all of the rack gear painted white, because it's gonna go on my white desk, which is going to be a different desk than this, which I will be talking about soon as well. Branded version made from brushed aluminum would be great. I don't really have a way to do aluminum cuts. I can cut paper with this, paper and vinyl and stuff like that. But I can make the template available. Okay, let me scroll back up. Let's see. Yeah, now I have to order everything in Stormtrooper white. It's true. Randy, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, that took me a minute. Got my M5 Stick Plus in. Awesome. Higher density, LCD, and Bluetooth. Oh, you got the fancy one. I didn't even see that was available. That's awesome. What do you use for programming? I don't have ATEM libraries loaded yet. I was using the Arduino IDE, and basically I just went to the instructions of the M5 stick, like just went to their website, found however they said to bring it in, support for the Arduino environment, and that's what I followed. I didn't do a tutorial about this yet. I just did that live stream, but that's what I was doing. And the Arduino IDE worked very well. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Curtis says if you break it, you can just use a Raspberry Pi. It's true. Doesn't look as cool. Okay. That is very true, Roland. I will be reflecting more light from the gear itself into my shot. I'm okay with that. All right. Okay, too loud on the other one. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm very excited, and we will see when I finally get to finish this. White overlay for the Mac as well. I was thinking about doing my monitors, but there isn't really a border on the monitors already, so it would probably look weird to make them white. I'm also trying to be like a little bit realistic about this and not paint stuff that I think is going to like wear out. So like my monitor poles, the poles that hold things up and like the arms, because I like attach things to them and clamp things to them, they get a lot of wear, and I don't want to have that be clamping over the white paint, which will then get scratched off. It's not paint, it's like enamel, so I think it's pretty strong, but I didn't want to risk it, so I'm doing just stuff that's not going to get a lot of handling. All right. Where was I in the chat? Custom Aaron merch is on the way. Maybe that is what I will be selling, is ATEM Mini skins in vinyl. That's the way to do it. White MacBook as a prop. All right. Let me see. So ATEM Mini skin. Oh yeah. So speaking of painting other things, where's my other camera? Yikes. This is my little roving camera, which battery is about 50% on this thing. The batteries in this are not good. But this is the Hollyland 400S, and that's going over to actually now that table. So let me just switch over to this so I can show you the rest of my studio. And you should be still hearing me from, that's the wrong camera. You should still be hearing me from my lav mic. So I made progress on this shelf, but it's still not in the background because whoever told me in the comments that using a paintbrush was going to be hard was absolutely correct. And it turns out, look, can you see the texture? Focus. Focus. There we go. You see all the brush strokes because I'm terrible at painting. And when I painted on the part that hadn't had any yet, it doesn't even do a full coat the first time. So it's super uneven and kind of a disaster. And I am going to just go back to my spray plan. So my spray plan is now to, instead of using little cans, I got this actual little machine, little pump thing that you put liquid paint into, and then it will turn it into spray paint. So, and that's my plan for that. So I'm gonna, after the stream, I'm gonna go sand this thing down, get all the rough brush strokes on it, off of it, and then spray it down. I'm gonna wear a N95 mask because it smells terrible when there's that much paint in the air. And we will see how that goes. Yeah. Little roving camera, he says, while holding a weird contraption with a camera somewhere in there. It's true. This is a Sony ZV-1 with the Hollyland 400 Pro on it. And what I like about this is it's got the tripod mount. But then I had to, I'm actually not even using this mic. I could have left this off. But I did want a mic, and I've got a cage for the camera. So the cage has all these little screw holes. You can't really see it. The light's not quite right for that. But I was able to screw a little thingy on for the microphone in case I did want to use the audio from this camera. And okay, people are saying my mic is getting interference. So this is now, actually this microphone is a analog. I'm walking around and I'm not like holding this in the optimal location, right? It's on my belt transmitting to, it's actually sitting on the streaming bridge, which is probably not a good idea. But it is an analog transmitter, not the normal digital ones that I use. So it's on like 500 something megahertz, which is different than what I normally do, which is using the 2.4 gigahertz. It's not a Wi-Fi mic, but it's like a, using those frequencies and digital. Am I going to paint the 20 by 20 video hub? This is an excellent question. I am seriously considering it. I am a little bit more nervous about that one because it's very expensive. But my plan is to, I do want to replace the fans in it. So like all of Blackmagic stuff, it uses obnoxiously loud fans. And I found someone who made a fan replacement that basically, you take off the top cover and they give you a new top cover that has fans built in. And those fans are much more quiet and things like that. So I am gonna buy that from them. They assemble it and they just ship you a cover, and the cover just slots in on top. So there's no like really wiring changes at all. When I have that taken apart to do that, which is only like a couple of screws, I'm gonna see if the front plate is easier accessible than the Hyperdeck. If it takes as much as the Hyperdeck, I don't think I'm gonna do it because that was like snapping a piece of plastic off. Because it's not just this little thing, this little plate on front, that's connected to another box inside. So that's more than I want to do if that's required for the video hub. But if it's just one piece of metal that I can take off with a couple of screws, I probably will do it because it would look very cool. Yeah, I've seen a couple of white cameras. Actually, the ZV-1, they have a white edition of this too. And if I didn't already own this, I probably would. I would definitely buy the white one. Can I drop a link for the ZV-1 cage? Good idea. Let me see if I can dig that up. What was it called? It was a ZV-1, not the handle. Where did it come from? I think it was Smallrig. Is it Smallrig? It is Smallrig. Okay. So why don't I see it in my Amazon? possible I didn't buy it from Amazon, I guess. And if that is the case, it would have been from probably B&H. No, it's not there either. Good question. What is this? Well, I might have to get back to you on that because apparently I don't know where I got this from. Yeah, no idea. Okay. Yeah, it is. That's the one. That's the one that I have the Smallrig. I don't have a link. What brand is the foldable tripod? Oh yeah, this is the what's it called? Oh my gosh. It's the one that collapses. What is the brand? They like did a whole marketing thing. There's a Cyber Monday deal on Smallrig ZV-1 cage right now. Fantastic. Smallrig ZV-1. That looks right. Okay, let me grab this link for you. And here we go. Smallrig ZV-1 cage. Cool. Switchpod. That's the one. Thank you. Emil, this is a good question. What I think about the FeelWorld Live Pro L1, I am actually in the middle of a video about that, which I'm hopefully going to shoot today and release this week. I have been playing with it a little bit and it's very interesting. It has some really interesting features. So I'm going to save my full thoughts for that video though. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Okay, sorry that took a little while to find that. Do the GVM50S lights have a scene that will automatically cycle through colors? Any programmability to run scenes by other apps? Good question, let me think. They have an app which controls the lights. I don't remember if you can talk to it from other apps. I haven't seen anything talking about that. Cycling through colors. They have very quick cycling through colors and like disco party mode kind of thing. I don't remember if that includes a speed adjustment. That's a good question. But it does have like just sort of going quickly through the colors as in like a party mode. I'll see if I can find the speed adjustment and leave it in a comment here. And thanks for the super chat. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate the comment. And I'm glad you use the chat system. The chat system, yeah, that's a browser extension. I packaged it up as a browser extension. So it just reformats the live chat pop-out to do this so that you can key it into a video. You can buy the red Komodo in white. I don't think I want a camera that expensive. Having played with it for a couple of weeks, what do you think of the Hollyland 400S Pro? Would you buy it? I probably would. It's been great. It's been working well. It's been very solid. The Hollyland stuff seems to be good quality. I wouldn't buy it myself because they gave me one, but if they didn't give me one, I would probably buy it if I needed a wireless transmitter. All right. What else? What else is new? The shelf. That's my project for this afternoon. Oh, Martin asks, have I done a video explaining the location pin graphics system that I use? I have not, because that one is not something that I think is easy enough for other people to use right now. There's a lot of quirks. So if I do package it up into like something that I expect other people to use, I would do a video on it, but it does require like going and getting API keys from Google or me doing that work and then dealing with Google to increase my rate limits for everybody who's using it. So not as seamless as the chat system. Andrew, thank you. Aaron was instrumental in helping me get my ATEM Mini up and running. A+ would watch videos again. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching all my videos. I know Andrew from Portland. Appreciated your last M5 stream. Ordered several M5.6Cs for the ATEM Mini Pro. Awesome. I'm glad that worked. It's been fun. I didn't bring them. I didn't set them up today because I don't know. I probably should have. Because I'm using an iPod as a switcher, and those would be more convenient. But glad you got that working. Yeah, as soon as I get my, as soon as I wrap this up, I'm going to go assemble the rest of that shelf. So, the rack rather, put the Hyperdeck back in the thing. So then I'll post a photo. I've been posting behind the scenes stuff on YouTube stories, and if you don't know what that is, it's fine, but just go to YouTube and like there'll be a little circle around my face. I think it might only show up on mobile platforms. Don't even get me started. But it's been fun to just post little 5-second videos of the process of spraying all of my gear white. And I will post some photos there with the rack setup once I've put all the screws back in. Any plans to expand the chat plugin for Restream or other sites? Possibly. I'm probably not going to do it for other sites directly because it does take work to like maintain it, because it basically is like reformatting their website. So if they change their website, then it breaks. Like there's actually a problem where if anybody has the verified check mark, for some reason the text verified now appears. Oh, and I need to fix the link color. But the text verified appears in my name. I don't know why. That didn't used to happen. So I need to update for that. As for Restream, I might do it for Restream because then it would work on a bunch of different websites sort of because you're using Restream. So if I get into using Restream much, I will do that. Oh, speaking of Restream, I am going to be doing a joint live stream with PhotoJoseph on Tuesday. We're going to be using the streaming bridge. I'm going to stream from my ATEM Mini Pro to his studio. He's going to splice me into the video on his ATEM Mini and then stream that to Restream, streaming to both of our channels. So you'll be able to watch that show on either of our channels, and we'll be doing comments. We'll be taking questions from both chats. So you can be either chat. I'm going to be looking at my chat. He'll be looking at his chat, and we will do a joint show together talking about that setup. So I'm going to post that as soon as this is done. I'll make that video public, or that placeholder public, and that'll be a lot of fun. So you don't want to miss that. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. So same time as this stream, but on Tuesday, and it will be, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We did a little trial run last week, and it works surprisingly well using the streaming bridge for an interview with at least just one person. And that is that'll be a good time. Where's my mouse? Have you considered writing to Ross and seeing if they're interested in reviewing their Carbonite Black all-in-one? I had not considered it. I will consider it. I don't really know anything about the company, but I get the sense that they are like Blackmagic, where they're kind of the big name in the business and don't need to have YouTubers talk about their products. So I'm not optimistic that they would even write back to me, but I can ask. I'd be happy to review one. But so far, all this Blackmagic stuff is just, I'm just buying it myself because I don't have anybody there who's going to send me anything. Nicholas, thank you for the comment. Yeah, the Sling Studio is a cool device too. I used that I haven't used it this year because I haven't gone anywhere this year, but I was using it for when I go like travel to small events, because it is very portable and all the cameras are wireless, which is nice. Like you can use a phone as a camera. It's a couple of years old now and they haven't done any updates in a while. So I'm a little bit curious where that is going and if they're going to like release a new version or if they are going to just drop out of the business or what. So we'll see how it goes. It was a new product that company was getting into. They hadn't previously made switchers before, right? It's Sling Media, the Sling box. So interesting device, and I used it for a lot of gigs. I haven't gone anywhere this year, so I haven't had a chance to use it, but it is cool. Have you thought about alternatives to the Chromecast? I have. What I'm not clear on about these other devices is whether Chrome can cast a specific tab. So that's why this setup works so well. So if I show you, like, probably the easiest way to show you is just to point this camera at my desk. So what I've got here is, like, I'm looking at my browser, right? But if you look at my monitor, there's the ATEM software, right? So if I bring the ATEM software in front of the chat, take a look at over here on the multi-view. The Chrome tab is still appearing by itself because Chrome is casting that specific tab to this input. And I still get my computer separately. So that's why I like this setup. And what I'm not clear on is whether those other kinds of devices can do that. So that's the reason this works so well. If I had, like, I have an Apple TV here too, and I could just AirPlay to the Apple TV, but same problem. Like, I can't AirPlay a Chrome tab to the Apple TV. That's the trick. But if you do know of one that, like, Chrome does recognize as a Chromecast, I would be interested in using that instead of the Chromecast, because then I wouldn't have to worry about HDCP stuff. Yeah. Nope, that battery died. So yeah, that's the deal with the Chromecast. Do you think Blackmagic would eventually do an ATEM with a built-in touchscreen? Do they have any devices with a touchscreen? I feel like they don't. They have devices with tiny monitors on them. I don't think they do anything with touchscreens though. It's not really the way they work. They do like hardware buttons for everything. Do you know if there's any cable brand that is USB-C to A that actually works with the ATEM Mini to a PC, because my PC doesn't have USB-C? Pretty much anything should. You want to make sure that you find a cable that has data, that supports data, not a charging cable. So if you find the, like some of the cables will say they're charging cables, those won't work because that doesn't have the data pins. But if you find a USB-C to A cable that does not say a charging cable, it should work fine. Pretty much anything. I don't think there's anything special you need to look out for. It's even like, it's USB 2. I don't think it's USB 3. So you can find any cable really. Have you tried RTMP Mini Server and know if it will work with the ATEM Mini? I have not actually tried that, but it should work fine. The ATEM Mini can stream to any RTMP server, and the ATEM Mini can stream to any RTMP server, so it should work fine. I've streamed to other things that are other, like, you know, the Nginx software or whatever. Pretty sure it'll work fine. Video Assist has a touchscreen. I totally blanked on that. Yeah, you're right. Video Assist is a touchscreen recorder monitor thing, and that is a Blackmagic touchscreen device. Interesting point. Oh, and the studio cameras. Okay, I'm wrong. I was thinking in the switcher family. I wasn't thinking about the yeah. Interesting. Oh yeah, speaking of Video Assist, new update for the new 3G version. Those things are now USB capture cards. What? Like, that's cool. Nobody saw that coming. Speaking of things that Blackmagic does that nobody sees, expects. Apparently, the Video Assist which is that little 5-inch or 7-inch monitor recorder, if you plug in USB to your computer, it shows up as a webcam, which is super cool. Like, that's amazing. That device is now super more useful. I don't even know how I would use that in my workflow, but it's cool that it has that. Unfortunately, the original Video Assist did not get that feature added. It's probably using totally different hardware. So I don't have the new one. I only have the old one that I bought several years ago, and I don't get to use that feature. And I don't think there's any features in the new one that are like worth upgrading to. So I'm not going to get to try that out unless for some reason I need a 7-inch recorder, and then I'll buy the latest one. But that's, yeah, not really the, probably won't be doing any demos of that because Blackmagic is not going to send me one to test out. But that is, yeah, a very cool update. So if you did buy the new 3G one, or if you're thinking about it, new use for it is using it as a USB capture card, because cool. Why not? This is a good point. Dedicated USB cable for the ATEM Mini Pro. Yes, I will highly recommend plugging in your ATEM Mini Pro into your computer directly, not going through any kind of hub, because a lot of the hubs are going to reduce the bandwidth available and just make it a lot more flaky. So the best thing you can do is plug it in directly with as short of a cable as you can. On my desk, I have this little, I do have a USB-C laptop, but I have this little short cable that I use for it, and it plugs in directly into my laptop. And even though my laptop's also plugged into my dock on the desk here, you know, with another cable. So obviously it's not plugged into my laptop right now because I just pulled the cord out because I'm not using it as a webcam right now. How good is the ATEM Mini Pro's encoder for fast sports like basketball? Also an opportunity to plug your stress test clip. Wink. Nice. Thanks. Yeah. I don't have my Hyperdeck plugged in, but normally I have the stress test clip loaded on that. And that clip is designed to push an encoder to its limits. And I haven't actually done my comparison of the ATEM Mini encoder yet with that, because I finished the clips relatively recently. But here, I'll show you an example of this on my computer screen, which is just, this is what the clip looks like, and it has all these little patterns. Of course, you're looking at a YouTube copy of a YouTube copy now because it's going through the encoding twice. And then the thing on the bottom is like a frame counter, so you can see how many frames are being dropped. And this is meant to see is your encoder doing the right thing, and how much is it mangling the compression of color gradients or fine details. And I have not yet actually run the ATEM Mini Pro's encoder through that test yet. I am planning on doing that, but I have a very long backlog of videos to get to. So at some point, I will post that. As for fast sports, you will notice that, like, if I do a lot of movement, you will see some artifacts on the stream. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the ATEM Mini is trying to cap the data rate. So it'll drop data when it needs to in order to keep it to that data rate. So the higher you're streaming at, the better quality you can stream. I'm streaming at 6 megabits a second right now. So when I do a lot of like fast motion, you'll probably see, I should see the data rate go, it'll probably go, yeah, it's going a little bit above 6 now. And then if I stop moving, it'll drop back down to like 5 or 5.5. So it depends on how much like constant motion it is, because it's trying to sort of keep it in that size. Michael, the link is in the description. I did add this already apparently. So the HDMI splitter that I'm using now is linked to, it's like the 5th or 6th link down in the description. How are the connectors holding up with all the plugging and unplugging you're doing? I'm worried that USB-C and HDMI can get quite fragile. Interesting point. They seem to be totally fine. They seem to be very, very solid. I haven't noticed anything getting loose at all. yeah, they seem to be totally fine. And I do unplug them quite a lot. Hopefully soon I'll be unplugging them less often because I will be able to virtually plug things in using my 20x20 matrix. And that's going to be a fun project when I finally get to that. I think it's going to arrive late this week, possibly next week. So I may not have it for the stream on Sunday next week, but I will probably have it for the Sunday after that. Although I'm not going to have enough of the SDI converters to probably rig it up properly. So we will see how that goes. I do have a mock-up of my plan for how I'm going to be doing this. Let me share my computer screen again, and the question is, can I bring my face back in? Yes, I can. That's better. This is my plan for the Matrix, the video hub. 20x20. I've got my main camera. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Oh, come on, Apple. The main camera, my second camera floating around or whatever. And I've got all my little devices like the Apple TV, Chromecast, the Raspberry Pi, my computer, a wireless receiver, the streaming bridge, everything running into this. And then the outputs you can assign any input to any output with the Matrix. That's the point of it, right? So I'll be running the SDI outputs into these converters, which then run into my first ATEM. Another 4 will go to my second ATEM. I'll run 2 into the 2 monitors on my desk. And then I'm going to have that SmartView Duo on the desk as well as 2 more monitors. I'm going to finally put a teleprompter on this camera so I can look into the camera and see a screen. And because it'll be part of the video hub, I can assign any of the inputs on my desk to the teleprompter just by clicking a button. I don't have to rewire anything. And then, oh yeah, Hyperdeck's in there too as both input and output. And then I'm going to run 10 cables across the floor to the other desk with another ATEM Mini on it, my monitor, another teleprompter, and a whole bunch of these converters as well. And then I get my desk cameras of the main shot, the top down, and a third. So that is my studio plan for this. And this was a fun diagram to make. It's a bit of a nightmare, a lot of wires, but this is using John Barker's H2R Gear software, new software in beta, and it is not yet launched to the public, but if you are interested, go take a look at Here to Record on YouTube, and then go find the video about that. I think he did a demo video about it, and then he links to the Discord in his videos where you can join and get invited to the beta. But super cool way to make these little diagrams of all the gear. And it's been a lot of fun to test this out. It is still in beta. A little rough around the edges. There's some little glitches here and there, but overall it works pretty well. And it's been fun. So my plan with the ATEM Mini is I have actually a regular ATEM Mini, not the Pro, and that is I might use that for that desk because I don't really need multi-view, I think, if I'm doing that. Or I might use my non-multi-view at this desk because if it's in a matrix, I'll probably know. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I have 3, and 1 is really just sitting on that back shelf normally, so we'll see. By teleprompter, I mean teleprompter monitor. So the plan is to get like the 50/50 mirror glass, put the camera behind it, put a monitor, like one of these little 7-inch monitors like I have on my desk here, under it, so that I can just shine anything into it. And then if I actually need to run a real teleprompter software, then I would like screen share my iPad running the software into the thing to assign it to that input, or yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean 50/50 glass. I don't remember the numbers. Yeah. Whatever, like I'm not going to build it. I'm just going to buy one. Probably the probably the Glide Gear. They seem to be like the best mix of affordability but solid stuff. So we'll see. Oh yeah, so the monitor, important. The monitor itself will do the flipping. And that way I don't have to worry about flipping the source material. And these little Feel World monitors I've been using, they do have that option of flipping either direction, horizontal or vertical. Steve, thanks. Switched from 300-foot Cat 7 to TP-Link from a previous live stream. Oh, nice. Awesome. Good to know that's been working. Why not get a 1ME switcher and use the ATEM Minis as controllers? Interesting question. As far as I know, the ATEM Minis can't be controllers for another ATEM. They are a switcher. But secondly, the 1ME switcher, while that thing is very cool, it is also very loud, and I would have to replace the fans again. And even in my television studio HD, when I did replace the fans, they still get a little bit, it still gets a little bit loud. The Hyperdeck replacement was completely successful, and I would absolutely recommend replacing your Hyperdeck fans if you have one and want it to be quiet because you're using it on a desk. Television studio, not necessarily. So I'm assuming that the 1ME switcher is going to be at least as loud as a television studio and probably wouldn't work. Besides, I have a lot of stuff in here that is, I have more outputs, things to send video out to, than the ATEMs have auxiliary outputs, unless I get the big 8K or 12 Constellation 8K, the big fancy new one. But I have so many screens, right? My 2 monitors, my teleprompter monitor, I want to send a copy of the video to a wireless transmitter or to the Hyperdeck. All those outputs that are I closed the tab, but too many different outputs for an ATEM itself. So that's the benefit of the Matrix. Lester, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. How do you loop back a video when in a Zoom call on a second monitor to use the loop back video in a production? Not quite sure I understand the question, but if I'm in a Zoom call, then I'm usually mixing only things I can see. So I haven't really had any problems with it, with that kind of setup. But if you can rephrase the question, I might be able to answer it better. Will Tally on the Blackmagic cinema camera work over SDI with the microconverters? Another good update from Blackmagic is the new 3G bidirectional converters can convert HDMI and SDI control signals. So now you can use the television studio SDI out to control the Pocket 4K HDMI, and you can use the ATEM Mini HDMI out to control the SDI cameras. So again, super cool thing from Blackmagic. Very glad they did that because it didn't make any sense that you could only control one type of camera from one type of switcher. Now it works both directions with their converters. All right. I think Lester means placing the Zoom video output on the virtual monitor you get if you connect your computer to the ATEM. Oh, yeah. So the way I do the way I have my computer plugged into the ATEM is I have 2 HDMI outs from my laptop. One goes to this monitor, one goes to the ATEM, and then in software, I tell it to mirror those 2. So I have my laptop screen down here, and I have my mirrored screen so that what I'm looking at on this monitor is what's in the ATEM Mini. So if I want to show you something on that screen, like when I switch to this, that's what I'm seeing right in front of me. And that's also what's in the ATEM Mini. So for Zoom, if I had a Zoom window here, then made that full screen, it would also be in the ATEM Mini, and I would see it right in front of me. So I think the trick there is that is getting that mirroring working. Otherwise, I'll be looking at a tiny version of it in the ATEM multi-view. All right, so we're at the top of the hour, I just realized. I do want to mention again, this time next week, or an hour ago, when this stream starts next week, same time, the I'm going to be doing another live show on Tuesday with PhotoJoseph, and we will be doing a joint live stream answering questions. I will be streaming to his studio using a streaming bridge, and we'll have a conversation over that. So we will, yeah, it'll be a fun experiment of using that. There's going to be some quirks. We'll explain more when we get into that stream. So definitely join. You can watch from my channel or his channel. We're using Restream to broadcast the same show to both channels. So just make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell. You'll be notified on Tuesday when I go live. Also, speaking of hitting the bell to be notified, because it doesn't always work, because YouTube does not actually send all the notifications out, even though they promise to. Actually, they don't really promise to at all. What I've done instead is set up a newsletter, email newsletter. So visit that link, news.aaronpk.tv, and if you go to that page, you can put in your email address, and then you will get an email 30 minutes before the stream starts. And I might also send out every now and then an email about like recent videos I've done. But if you do that, the live stream notifications are automated, and you will get one 30 minutes before the stream starts on Tuesday. And hopefully that'll work. It'll be a fun stream. It should be a bit of an adventure because we're in 2 different locations and streaming over the internet using a streaming bridge. It's going to be an adventure. We'll see how it goes. I will see you there on Tuesday. And as always, thank you so much for joining.